Welcome back to the podcast Redeemed. We are in Matthew, and we're going to be looking at chapter 14. And we got several of them that we're going to pull from this chapter. It's a pretty interesting chapter. We're going to talk about John the Baptist beheaded. Kind of sounds kind of gross.
It does.
But I do think there are some lessons here. One being that sometimes if you're standing up for what's right,
you'll get beheaded.
you could get beheaded.
We don't know.
And people don't like it when you point out they're doing something wrong.
They do not.
No.
And that's what I kind of feel like it happens in our world too, is that they don't like being told they're wrong. And so because you're telling them, as Christians, we're telling them wrong, or excuse me, let's try that again. As Christians, we are telling them what they're doing is wrong. Therefore, what do they want to do? They want to silence us because they don't want that guilt. Or at least that's how I see it playing out.
Yep. And most of the time, you're not even necessarily telling people what they're doing is wrong. You more explain how it doesn't align with the Bible and scriptures and what God has to say on things. Mm-hmm. And they get just as offended, obviously. But
and sometimes I'm saying nothing other than I just can't accept that.
Yeah. That's just not for me.
That's not for me. And then,
my
goodness.
And then it's all.
People start to screaming. So what we have going on here is we have Herod arrested John, bound him and put him in prison because he took his brother's wife. And John said that was not okay, which we understand that. It was not lawful for you to have her. Well, Herod wanted to kill John, but he was afraid the people because they considered John a prophet. So he didn't really. He wanted to silence it. Wanted him to not be pointing out what he was doing was wrong.
Yep. But also, he was smart enough to understand I better not just go kill him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Might have an uprising on my hands here.
Yep.
Yeah. But then the plot thickens a little bit. I've always thought this was the interesting part of the story. Okay, on Herod's birthday, the daughter of Herodias, danced for the guests and pleased Herod so much. Now, I'm sure he was probably a little drunk.
I'm sure it's his birthday.
It's his birthday.
Mm-hmm. It's his birthday.
He's having a good time.
It's his party.
And he promised with an oath to give her whatever she asked for. Must have been some kind of dance, if you ask me.
I know, what on earth are we doing here, Herod?
Mm-hmm.
Or a lot of drinking.
A lot of drinking. I have to assume there's a lot of drinking for the king just to be like, you know what do you want?
Whatever you want.
Anything
the
you
whole
want.
World.
Yeah. I think in one translation says even up to half my kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very much impressed with this dance.
I think he was very drunk.
Both things can be true.
Then, prompted by her mother, which I think is another interesting point of the story. So she didn't come up with this on her own. She had a little help from her mother. Yeah. So apparently,
she probably wanted something else. She probably wanted half the kingdom.
Wanted half the kingdom.
This is what I want, Mom. Really?
Yeah. You're going to ask for what?
Mm-hmm. And which goes to show you too that her mother or Herod's wife didn't like John either. Didn't like being told she was wrong.
She didn't like hearing it either.
Mm-mm. So prompted by her mother, she said, "Give me here on a platter the head of John the Baptist." Which it's like, wow, okay. Of all the things you can ask for,
I know. What did the king think?
Like,
in his state?
We gotta do what now?
Yeah.
Right now?
On a platter? You're gonna ruin one of my platters.
We're having a party.
You just killed the vibe of this party.
This is a party.
Look around where you are right now. It's my birthday.
It's my birthday. Yeah. The king was distressed, but because of his oaths and his dinner guest, he ordered that her request be granted. And they had John the Baptist, and had John beheaded in the prison. Excuse me. His head was brought in on a platter and given to the girl, who carried it to her mother, which I find that interesting too. It's like, here you go, Mom.
Nasty.
That shows you how much she didn't actually want that.
Yeah, please get this away from me.
Here you go, Mom. This is yours. Thanks for burning what could have
been.
Thanks
for ruining that.
Yeah.
And then John's disciples came and took his body and buried it, and they went and told Jesus. So, to me, there are there can be some instances where when you stand up for what is right, and from reading here, I don't see that John was actually yelling at him or anything like that. It's not lawful for you to have her, which was true.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be sleeping with your brother's wife.
Herod didn't like that.
Not supposed to happen. Because kings thought they could do whatever they want.
Yes.
They could.
Yeah. And because he stood up for what was right, it cost him his life. Now, I don't know because of it what the Lord was able to do through that. Because there's a lot of times when those kind of things happen, there are other things that transpire that the Lord is working through.
Right. The ripple effect.
Yeah. Now, this doesn't explain any of that.
No, but I can almost assure that there were ripples based off of that
Absolutely.
event.
Yeah, absolutely. So the moral lesson here, and what I'm just trying to pick out, is that sometimes when you stand up for what's right, and when I say right, I mean you're standing up for what Jesus would want you to stand up for.
Correct.
Because a lot of times we can stand up for what we consider right, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that at some point we can't back down from because those are the things that would violate the Word of God.
More of a heavenly point of view than
Correct.
An American point of view.
And we can't do that.
Correct.
And there can be some dire consequences if you stand for what's right.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I still think we have to, no matter the consequences.
Yeah, that's clear.
Yep. All right, so you guys stand strong. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.